Namaste everyone, welcome to Physio Vitals, and today's video is on elbow joint. So the features, elbow joint is a hinge variety of synovial joint. So we have lower end of the humerus and upper end of the radius and ulnar bone. So this is elbow joint. Alright. Now elbow joint is the term used for humeroradial joint, humeroradial joint and humeroulnar joint. Okay, the term elbow complex also includes superior radioulnar joint. Moving further now to the articular surface. So we have upper and lower articular surface. Alright. So in upper articular surface we have capitulum and trochlea. So the coronoid fossa, I have already covered the humerus bone. So kindly go through the previous video on humerus bone. I will provide the link in the description below. So the coronoid fossa lies just above the trochlea. Alright, coronoid fossa lies just above the trochlea and is designed in a manner that the coronoid process of the ulnar fits into it in extreme flexion. Now similarly, the radial fossa just above the capitulum allows for radial head fitting in the radial fossa in extreme flexion. So you just need to understand that the coronoid fossa just lies above the trochlea. Coronoid fossa lies above the trochlea above. Alright. Now, and it is designed in such a manner that the coronoid process of the ulnar's coronoid process fits into it in extreme flexion. So the coronoid process of ulnar fits in the trochlea in extreme flexion. Similarly, we have radial fossa just above the capitulum, which allows for radial head fitting in the radial fossa in extreme flexion. Alright. Now lower. In lower articular surface, we have the upper surface of the head of the radius. We have this head of the radius, upper surface. Alright. Now, which articulates with the capitulum. Here we have capitulum. So this is articulating. Now trochlear notch of the ulnar articulates with the trochlea of humerus. So what mnemonics you need to remember is CR. In lower we need to remember CR, class representative. So radius articulates with capitulum. Alright. Then TT. T is trochlear notch of the ulnar articulates with the trochlea of humerus. So class representative will make the TT. TT is timetable. So you remember likewise. CRTT. Moving further to the ligaments. Now the capsular ligament. Yeah, first we'll see capsular ligament. So superiorly now, capsular ligament superiorly it is attached to the lower end of the humerus. This is humerus, this is the lower end of the humerus. So superiorly it attached to the lower end of the humerus in such a way that capitulum and the trochlea, the radial fossa, the coronoid fossa and olecranon fossa are intracapsular. Everything is inside the capsule. These all structures are inside the capsule. So superiorly we have all this attachment for the capsular ligament. Now we'll see inferomedially. Inferomedially it is attached to the margin of the trochlear notch. Medial is ulnar side, right? So inferomedial attached to the margin of trochlear notch of the ulna except laterally. Alright. Now we'll see inferolaterally. It is attached to the annular ligament of the superior radioulnar joint. Alright. So the anterior ligament and the posterior ligament are thickening of the capsule. We'll move on to the ulnar collateral ligament now. In ulnar collateral ligament, it is a triangle shape. Alright, I'll show you the this thing. Yeah, see, this is the ulnar collateral ligament. It is in triangle shape. So the apex is attached to the medial epicondyle of the humerus. See, this is medial epicondyle. Alright, this is medial epicondyle. This. Alright, now this is the apex. This one is apex. Then, and the base to the ulnar. base to the ulnar bone. Alright. The ligament has thick anterior and posterior band. This is the anterior and this is the posterior band. So the anterior posterior band are thick. These are attached below to the coronoid process and the olecranon process respectively. So anterior is attached below the coronoid process and posterior band is attached below the olecranon process. Their lower ends are joined to each other by an oblique band which gives attachment to the thinner intermediate fibers of the ligament. The ligament is crossed by the ulnar nerve and it gives origin to flexor digitorum superficialis. Alright, the lower end is joined by an oblique. Now this oblique, lower end is joined by the oblique band which gives attachment to the thinner intermediate fibers of the ligament. Also the ulnar nerve also crosses this band. So it gives origin to the flexor digitorum superficialis. It is closely related to flexor carpi ulnaris and triceps brachii. Alright, now we will move further to the radial collateral ligament. So radial collateral ligament is also called as lateral ligament. So it is a fan shaped, I will show you the diagram. This, it is a fan shaped band extending from the, this is lateral epicondyle to the annular ligament, extends from lateral epicondyle to the annular ligament. It gives origin to the supinator and the extensor carpi radialis brevis. Alright, moving further to the relations now. So relations में anteriorly we have brachialis, median nerve anteriorly, ठीक है, where your palm is facing in an anterior direction, like you are standing and the where your nose is pointing na, in that direction, anterior is forward, okay. So in anteriorly the relations are brachialis, median nerve, brachial artery and tendon of biceps brachii. Posteriorly obviously triceps anconeus. Medial side mein we will have ulnar nerve, flexor carpi ulnaris and common flexors. Laterally we have supinator, extensor carpi radialis brevis and other common extensors. Moving further now to blood supply and nerve supply. So in blood supply we have superior ulnar collateral artery, supratrochlear artery, anterior ulnar recurrent artery, posterior ulnar recurrent artery, common interosseous and anterior interosseous. In nerve supply we have ulnar nerve, median nerve, radial nerve and musculocutaneous nerve. Alright. Moving further now, movements. In movements obviously we have in elbow flexion and extension. Flexion is something when your palm is coming near to your face, and extension is palm is going away from the face. So in flexion what all muscles come into action is brachialis, biceps. See, brachialis comes below the biceps. So biceps ऊपर होता है, उसके नीचे brachialis होता है, and then brachioradialis. ठीक है, so these three muscles come into action when we are flexing our elbow. In an extension we have triceps. Triceps पीछे होते हैं जिसके 3 heads होते हैं, and anconeus. So extension means your palm is going away from the face. So इसमें triceps and anconeus muscle. Moving further now to carrying angle. So see, now it is very interesting. The transverse axis, transverse मतलब जो horizontal axis जा रहा है, from the elbow joint मतलब lateral से medial अगर ये मैंने line draw की है, so this is transverse axis. So directed medially and downwards. So this is never straight. Alright, so it is kindly downward and medially. Alright, because of this the extended forearm is not in straight line with the arm. It is slightly oblique. If we draw transverse axis na from lateral to medial, so that line which is formed, it gets slightly oblique. So because of this the extended forearm is not in straight line with the arm but makes an angle about 13 degrees with it. This is known as carrying angle. The factors responsible for carrying angle is medial flange. This medial side ka flange of the trochlea is 6 mm deeper than the lateral flange. The second reason factor responsible for carrying angle is superior articular surface of the coronoid process of the ulnar is placed oblique to the long axis of the bone. Alright, so the carrying angle disappears in full flexion. When your palm is coming towards your face, the carrying angle disappears. Alright, and also during pronation. Pronation is when the forearm is when the palm is facing towards the floor. All right, then also the carrying angle disappears. The forearm comes into line with the arm in a mid prone position. When the mid prone position, which when your palm is, when a thumb is facing towards your ceiling, in the ceiling direction, alright, that is mid prone position. And this is the position in which the hand is mostly used. This arrangement of gradually increasing carrying angle during extension of the elbow increases the precision which with which the hand can be controlled. Alright, so this is all about carrying angle. So this is the long axis from humerus, and this the second long axis from the forearm bone. So this angle which is formed is carrying angle. Normal is 13 degrees. Now moving further to the clinical anatomy. So what is distension? The distension of the elbow joint by an effusion occurs posteriorly because there is capsule, because here the capsule is weak. What happens, the effusion gets collect posteriorly because the capsule is weak posteriorly, and the covering deep fascia is thin. So aspiration is done posteriorly on any side of the olecranon. Next is dislocation. So the elbow is usually dislocated posteriorly and often associated with fracture of coronoid process. Alright. The triangular relationship between the olecranon and two humeral. If you see the elbow joint from posteriorly, this is medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle, and our this thing olecranon process lies here. So it forms a triangle like this. So the triangular relationship between the olecranon and two humeral condyles is lost when there is dislocation. Moving further now to the subluxation. Subluxation of the head of the radius or pulled elbow occurs in children when the forearm is suddenly pulled in pronation. When the child's arm is pronated and if suddenly someone pulls it, so there is subluxation or pulled elbow because the head of the radius gets displaced. Okay, the head of the radius slips out from the annular ligament. Moving further to tennis elbow. It occurs in obviously in tennis players. Abrupt pronation with fully extended. When the arm is pronated in an extended elbow, this may lead to pain and tenderness over the lateral epicondyle, which gives attachment to the common extensor origin. So this is possibly due to sprain. Sprain is always of ligament. Strain, whenever we say sprain, it directs that something is wrong with ligament, and whenever we say strain means there is some kind of pain in the tendon. Okay, so here we have sprain of radial collateral ligament, tearing of fibers of the extensor carpi radialis brevis. Recent researchers have pointed out that it is more of a degenerative condition rather than an inflammatory condition. Moving further to the student's elbow or minor's elbow. Uh, so it is characterized by effusion into the bursa over the subcutaneous posterior surface of the olecranon process. Students during lecture support their hand for sleeping with their arm with flexed elbow. The bursa on the olecranon process gets inflamed. Alright, so do not sleep in your lecture basically. Golfer's elbow. This is in golfer's elbow there is micro trauma of the medial epicondyle of the humerus. टेनिस एल्बो में क्या होता है, लैटरल एपिकॉन्डाइल पे स्ट्रेन होता है क्योंकि आर्म इज इन प्रोनेशन एंड एक्सटेंडेड में फोर्स लगता है, तो वो लिगामेंट पे स्ट्रेन होता है या तो फिर एक्सटेंसर कार्पी रेडियलिस का टेयरिंग हो सकता है. इन गोल्फर्स देयर इज मीडियल एपिकॉन्डाइल का इन्वॉल्वमेंट, तो माइक्रो ट्रॉमा होगा मीडियल एपिकॉन्डाइल of humerus occurring commonly in golf players. The common flexor origins, यहाँ से अभी medial epicondyle से common flexor origins ही होता है, तो undergo repetitive strain है मतलब tendons, muscle के tendons, and result in a painful condition on the medial side of the elbow. Now next, cubitus varus and valgus. If the carrying angle which we just discussed before is more than 13 degrees, more than the normal range, the condition is cubitus valgus. The ulnar nerve in this cubitus valgus, the ulnar nerve may get stretched leading to weakness of the intrinsic muscle of the hand. If the angle is less, carrying angle is less than 13 degrees, that will be called as cubitus varus. Now what is the optimum position of for the elbow? See, generally the elbow flexion is between 30 to 40 degrees is sufficient to perform common activities of daily living जैसे कि eating हो गया, combing, dressing etc. Because of this reason, even people who have lost terminal flexion, terminal मतलब end flexion हो या end extension हो due to fracture या तो कोई trauma, are able to accomplish these personal tasks without much a problem. Alright, so I hope this video was quite useful and informative. Kindly share, like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you next in the Radio Ulnar Joint. Stay tuned. Thank you so much.